Good morning and welcome to the Daily Download. I'm your host, Dr. Darrell R. Pulley. This is the day the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Download because the Lord daily loads us with his benefits. And I'm telling you, today is already loaded. It is already jammed and packed with the lessons and the blessings of God. And my heart and my mind are open and receptive to divine, unlimited ideas. And I pray with you today that your heart and your mind are open to receive all the good that God has for you because God's will for you is absolute good. Thank you again for being a part of the Daily Download. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I am in Lido Beach, Florida, at a retreat here with the Suncoast Unity Ministers, and I'm telling you, it's absolutely beautiful here, and I'm so glad to be able to be with them, with Suncoast yesterday and today, on my way back to St. Petersburg today, but I'm grateful for just an opportunity to be able to look at the water and to be able to just commune with nature. So we thank you for being a part of the Daily Download right here live from Lido Beach, Florida. Now, I am grateful for all of our first-time guests. If this is your first time watching the Daily Download, like, follow, and share the Dr. Darrell R. Pulley page so that you can get notifications of when we are on the air. And if this is not your first time and you're one of our regular Kingdom citizens, students of truth, if this is the time to share the Daily Download with a family member, a friend, a neighbor, a co-worker, a classmate, a church member, and say, look, I'm looking at the Daily Download. Join me as I watch Dr. Pulley and the Daily Download. Well, we've been talking about I am that I am Mekadesh. I am that I am Mekadesh, which means I am that I am sanctification. I am the Lord your God that sanctifies you. And we learned yesterday that sanctified means to be set apart for service. Come on again and review. Sanctification means to be set apart for service. Affirm me, I am set apart for service. I am set apart for God's service, which means that God is sanctifying me. God is setting me apart for God's service. So our text today is Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7. Again, that's Jeremiah chapter 1, verses 4 through 7. This scripture is very near and dear to my heart because it is my call scripture. It was out of Jeremiah 1, 4 through 10 that I was called into ministry. And it kind of sets the framework for who I am and what it is that God has called me to do. So this scripture, Jeremiah, God has called Jeremiah for service. And there's something standing in the way of Jeremiah serving. Now, we were all created with a purpose. We were all created with God having a plan for our lives. But many times in this physical world, there are things that stand in the way from us doing what it is that God called us to do, from us being who it is that God called us to be. So sanctification means to remove those blocks, remove those barriers, remove those walls, whatever stands in the way from you being your best self, living your best life, and doing what it is that God told you to do, saying what God told you to say, going where God told you to go. Move it out of your way. That is the sanctification process, to move any block, any barrier, any wall, anything that's standing in the way from me fulfilling the purpose, the divine purpose for my life. So in this particular text, we're standing in Jeremiah's way. Now God says, before I formed you in the belly, I knew you. Before you came out of your mother's womb, I sanctified you and ordained you as a prophet. So this sanctification process starts before we were even born. And I'm going to get more into that we have been set apart from birth. We've been set apart from even before birth, before the foundation of the world. God had a purpose for our lives, and we've been set apart to fulfill that purpose, to accomplish the mission that we came on this earth to do. But there are things that get in our way. There are things that stand in our way. And in our text today, what was standing in Jeremiah's way was age. That's right. And so today our subject is sanctified from age. I'm going to say it again. Sanctified from age. One more time. Sanctified from age, which means for many people, age stands in the way. Either I'm too young or I'm too old. Those are normally the consciousness, or when God calls people, well, you talking about me? You can't be calling me. I'm too old. I'm 60, I'm 70, I'm 80 years old. You can't be calling me. Or in my case, I was called at 7. And it's like, God, are you really calling me? I'm just a little boy. I haven't had a lot of experiences. I don't have a lot of education. How is it that you can be calling me? And so many times people allow age to stand in the way from them fulfilling God's divine purpose. So today we are sanctifying ourselves. We are setting ourselves apart from age, which means that you've got to see yourself beyond your age. You are not your age. Your age is a number. And so we're being sanctified from any erroneous idea, any limiting belief, any faulty perception that believes that your age can stop you from doing what it is that God called you to do. The only way your age can stop you is if you let it. If you hold on to that idea, if you hold on to that limiting belief, then age will stand in the way. But our prayer today is, God, sanctify me from my age. God, sanctify me from my age. I will not allow my age to stand in the way. I will see myself apart from my age so that I can function and operate in spirit. All right? Pulley point number 1 is that spirit has no age. Pulley point number 1 is that, remember, you are a spirit, you have a soul, and you live in a body. So in spirit, there is no age. Your spirit has no age. Your spirit is ageless. Come on, affirm me, my spirit is ageless. So there is no age in spirit. Spirit always has been, always will be, and spirit always is. Spirit has no time. Spirit has no age. So there is no age in spirit. And so spirit is your connection with God. And God is timeless. God is ageless. So your spirit is the connection of the I am with the I am that I am. Let me say it again. The spirit is the connection with the I am of your being to the I am that I am. And in spirit, there is no age. That's right, I said it. Spirit has no age. Spirit has no time. Spirit has no beginning. And spirit has no ending. So age is a construct in your mind. Age is a construct in our society. But in spirit, there is no age. There is no age in spirit. Pulley point number 1, spirit has no age, and in spirit, there is no age. So if you're functioning in age and I'm too young, that means that you're not operating in spirit. If you're operating in age and talking about I'm too old, that means you're not operating in spirit. Because in spirit, there is no age. It's never too late. There's always an opportunity in spirit. In spirit, there is no age, no time limit, no deadline. In spirit, there is no age, there is no time in spirit. So when you start functioning in the limitations of your age, then that means that you're not functioning in spirit. So you need to be sanctified from this idea that certain things have to happen at a certain age, or certain things can't happen at a certain age. Let's begin to sanctify ourselves from ageism. And that causes people to discriminate against people based upon age, because in their soul, in their mind, they have this idea that you can't do it because you're too young. You can't do it because you're too old. So pulley point number 1 is that spirit has no age, and there is no age in spirit. Pulley point number 2, your soul, remember the spirit is what connects you to God. Your soul has lived through ages, and your soul connects you with all people. So pulley point number 2 is that your soul has lived through many ages. All right? Pulley point number 1, in spirit, there is no age. Pulley point number 2, your soul has lived through many ages, and your soul is what connects you to all people of all ages. All right, now, let me say it again. Your soul has lived through ages, and your soul is what connects you to people of all ages. You're able to relate to people regardless of age because your soul has lived through many ages, which means that there is a collective consciousness that is a part of your soul. There's a part of you that has lived through all of the ages of time. That is your soul. Your soul has been since the beginning of time. In spirit, there is no time, but your soul has lived since the beginning of time. And so your soul has developed and has gone through many ages. And so I can connect with people from different age groups, from different time periods. I can understand. I can relate. I can connect. I can feel what they felt. I can feel like I was in that experience because my soul has lived through many ages. So whereas spirit has no age, your soul has all the ages in it. All the ages. I know this is blowing somebody's mind today, but your soul has lived through many ages. So your soul is what connects you to all people, that you can relate to people of various ages when you are connected with the soul. All right? Pulley point number one, the spirit has no age and is ageless, always has been, always is, always will be. Pulley point number two, your soul has existed since the beginning of time. So therefore you can connect with people from all time periods, connect with people of all ages, because that connection with all ages, all age groups is in the soul. Your soul has existed since the beginning of time and connects you with people of all ages and people who have lived through various ages. And y'all keep working with that. Pulley point number three. The only thing that has age to it, a numerical age that we can define and that we can know, is your body. All right? When the sperm hits the egg and conception takes place, you know, the doctors, they can do sonograms and they can kind of figure out when exactly the child was going to be born based upon conception, based upon the development that's in the womb. They can tell the age of the body. And so the only part of you that has age is your body. Your body, your form, this physical form has age to it. You got a birthday, you know when you were born. They can pretty much tell when you were conceived. But I don't know how old your soul is. Your spirit has no age, and I don't know how old your soul is. You don't know how old your soul is. I don't know how old my soul is, but I know how old my body is. That I got a birth date. I was born July 14th. I'm 48 years old. And so I'm able to connect with the here and now in the present tense, using my physical senses, my eyes, my nose, my ears, my mouth, my hands. I can relate to this current time period and with the people who are physically here now. And it keeps me grounded in time and space because of this body. But the only part of me that has age is my body. And so I will not allow this chronological age of my body to stand in the way of me doing what God has called me to do. I'm being sanctified from age. I'm being sanctified from ageism. And yes, ageism says that we discriminate against people because of their age. We deny people of certain goods and services because of their age. But the greatest person that we deny of things is ourselves because of age. So I'm allowing God to sanctify me from age, to open up my mind, to open up my heart, to see beyond the physical of people's physical body and know that the spirit has no age, that the soul has lived through ages, and the only part of me that has age is my body. And I will not allow the age of my body to stand in the way of me doing what God has called me to do. You don't have to be sick and old, sick and decrepit, and your body not functioning, not working because you're a certain age. You don't have to be immature or feel like you're dumb or stupid because you're a certain age. Age only has to deal with the body, and you can transcend this body, transcend this physical form by knowing the truth. Pulley point number one is that the spirit is ageless. It has no age. All right, there is no age in spirit. spirit. Pulley point number 2, the soul has lived through the ages and connects me with people of all ages, of all time periods. And pulley point number 3, the only part of me, and this is just one part of you, it is not all of who you are. The only part of me that has age is my body. And so I transcend my body. I transcend my physical form in order to do what it is that God has called me to do. We're being sanctified from age. We're setting ourselves. Remember, sanctified means to be set apart from service. I'm setting myself apart from this age so that this age does not limit me and I can serve. I am pulling myself away from the stereotypes, from the negative messages, from the limiting ideas and beliefs about age. I'm setting myself apart from those ideas so that I can serve. As long as you buy into those ideas that you're too young or you're too old, you're never going to do what God told you to do. You've got to sanctify yourself from age. Sanctify yourself. Set yourself apart from age and realize that God has a purpose for my life, and I will not allow age to stand in the way. I will sanctify myself. I will renew my mind to see age differently. You got people who are in their 80s and 90s and in their 90s who are healthy, who are driving, who are living fulfilled lives, who are not allowing age to stand in their way. And I've met many people in Florida who have sanctified themselves from age and says, age is just a number. I can still work out, I can still drive, I can still date, I can still fall in love, I can still work, I can still do things because they sanctified themselves from age. They're able to see themselves apart from their age. I love you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much for being a part of the Daily Download. If you're looking for a shorter version of today's message, find us on Twitter, find us on Instagram, and remember to share this on your page today because somebody's age is standing in the way of them doing what God has called them to do, from them being who God has called them to be. So we're sanctifying ourselves from age today. Remember to share this on your page. And thank you for all those who continue to give generously to keep the Daily Download happening and going every day. We love you so much. God bless you. If you're looking for products, if you're looking for books and more information about what we teach and preach, go to our website, www.drpulley.com. Until tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m., remember, God is doing something wonderful in me, and God is doing something wonderful in you.